Hey, Danya. Let's see if I can follow your instructions that you just sent me. I don't think I have... Oh, I guess I have to select you first. Too many windows. Select. Plus. I'm looking for the plus. Where are you? I don't see the plus. Hey, Tommy Gun. No. Where? Tanya, help. Manage suspicious user. Are you suspicious? Nope. One second, just taking care of some housework here. Hey, how's it going, Adam? Long time no see. Yeah, I'll send that command in a second here. How many people we got in here? If it's low, then I can try to fix this. If it's bigger, then maybe... Oh, here we go. Users in chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'll give it a second here. Why can't I fix you? Thanks, Adam. Yeah, this is Moonbreaker, formerly called Warpaint, as you may remember. It was just our internal name, but yeah, I can't seem to op you, Danya. I'm not sure why. Oh well. If it gets bad, then people start saying horrible stuff, then we'll just have to deal with that then. Okay, day 2, streaming. I'm streaming. So, I wanted to go through some Nolt stuff, because there's a lot of stuff happening in Nolt, in case you don't know about it. Nolt is the place that we're gathering all the feedback for the game. And it's definitely our preferred form because it's really easy for us to see, you know, kind of what the most voted stuff is. So you can, like, if you enter a suggestion, try typing mod virtual dawn. Okay, I'm gonna try that. 1 second, one last time. I have so many windows open, I seriously can't even find that one. Can't find it. Sorry, Danya. Is it over here? No, it's not over here. It's gone. Sorry, can't do it. Yes, so this is our preferred. Oh, here we go. Can I do it here? I didn't do anything. Yeah, so the game used to be called Warpaint. That's what Adam is talking about. We had a code name for Warpaint, and he's got a game called Warpaint. You should check it out on Steam. And we talked about maybe getting that name from him, and ultimately decided to just make the game Moonbreaker instead. So, anyways, so is that you, Nonas? Is that you right here? Allowing sorted stuff. Who are you? There, Nyanko. You know, Nonas, is that you? So yeah, we go to Moonbreaker. I basically go to moonbreaker.nolt.io all the time, and I basically just look at the stuff that's the most highly voted. So you can, if you enter a suggestion, like say, did sort by cinder cost, it'll say, oh, look, we've already got this here. So you can actually just vote on this one instead. So it's a nice way to basically make sure we don't get duplicates, even though you just saw 2 dupes there. Someone wasn't paying attention. So basically I can just look in here and I can just look to see what the most highly voted stuff is. And this is pretty much going to be top of my plate, top of my list, stuff I want to work on. So I just wanted to go through some of these. Allow sorting by cinder cost in roster creation. I don't know how this one slipped through. I know we at one point had it, but I think when we redid the UI, it just fell away somehow. So everyone wants this. We've just been hearing about this for a while. So even on our friends and family, we heard about this. So I just responded here. We definitely want to do this, not sure when. I think I'll add a little bit more. We're working on this now. This actually might even get done for EA. Sorry for the horribly loud keyboard. One day, when I figure out better how to stream, you have to listen to that. Yeah, let me just make sure I check the chat well. Here we go, now I can see the chat. Cool. Hey, we've got a bunch of people in here. Holy crap, quite a few people. Anyone I recognize? Hey, Sicknick. Danya, hey Danya. Tommy Gun. Okay, that's basically everyone I know. So the next thing here, adding mulligan at the beginning of the game. Yeah, this is one that we, obviously Hearthstone does this. We thought maybe we should do it, and we just basically said, let's wait until we know that it's actually going to be a problem. I still don't know that we know that it's a problem or that it's worth putting in. My big objection to it is, besides the fact that it's just a bunch more work, is it's just another step at the beginning of every single game. And we already have the ship assist selection, so I don't really love adding a whole nother step here. But, so I think we're just gonna sit on this for a little while. We'll see how much people want it. There's some good, this was a really good post. I really appreciated people mentioning the Magic the Gathering mulligan posts from the Mark Rosewater blog. Mark Rosewater, or was it? It was like, what did they call it? There's a couple different mulligan styles. Yeah, the London mulligan. This one wasn't ultra useful for us, but it's, I mean, I love any excuse I can have to come to this blog. I just love this thing. Yeah, this guy does a podcast, like, I think it's every day. He does his drive to work podcast because he lives in Seattle and he has to drive half an hour. So, oh, this one isn't Mark Rosewater, but the main Magic guy who's been doing it for like 20 plus years. He's been writing a lot of great info. So there's way more information about mulligans than you ever want to know in here. I took a glance at it. It's kind of like reasons why this particular mulligan style works over, I guess, the No Land mulligan or the Paris mulligan, Vancouver mulligan. These guys have been working on this stuff for a long time. So I think we could definitely add this. I don't think we need to do it right now, but if we need to, we'll have to figure out a way to make it pretty seamless. So maybe it'll be like, yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna wait on that one. Let me just see what people have been saying in chat real quick. Bob Ross Simulator 2022. Yeah. We've been calling it Project Bob Ross internally as well, as you may have heard, delegation. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, you're opt. Great. Or modded. Thanks, Danya. So if anyone gives any crap when I'm not noticing, Danya's gonna smack down the ban hammer. So smudge tool. Not sure about that. Yep. No, we're not animating the models. That decision was made a long time ago. I have some spinach in my teeth. Excuse me. Yeah, we're not animating the models. That was like, so that was one of the first decisions we made on this game. Basically, we didn't, we wanted to lean into miniatures, not twist miniatures into something else. So that's the basic idea. Decent boom arm. I've got this, the classic, the blue Blue Raven or whatever it's called, Blue mic that everyone has. So hopefully it sounds okay. Oh, it sounds way better when I get close to it. Maybe I should move this. I am such a newbie when it comes to streaming. Ooh, look at that. That sounds awesome. Now I can't use my keyboard very well, but yep, don't want to add an extra step at the beginning of the game, but we might have to. Yeah, same thing with reviewing the opponent's roster. Actually, is that in here? That's something we've been talking about recently too. I could talk a bit about that. Banking Cinder makes the mulligan less necessary. Absolutely true, because you can bank for a couple turns to get something big out. Absolutely right. Zero Gitano. I don't know how you say that. Okay, next one. So I basically just set that one to researching. It's kind of a cop-out, but it is researching. It's more like waiting, but when playtest ends, disable queue, but keep painting available to all testers. Yeah, I can see why you want this. It would be awesome, but it's just a bunch of work for us to do, and we have no extra time right now. Oh my gosh. We are going like crazy trying to get this, the 29th deadline. We just have 28th or 29th. I think it's 29th, Thursday. No extra time for anything. We're coming in real hot, so I rejected it. I'm sorry. Always visible round timer. I've heard this one before too. I rejected it. My main reasoning here is that it's just stressful. I don't like seeing that timer counting down. And also, the UI has so much junk on it already. It's the biggest, kind of the biggest problem you have when making UIs is like extra information and trying to guide users towards the most important information. And it's amazing, if you ever make a game and you have someone play it for the first time, you'll be so shocked that they don't see anything on the UI. Like nothing. For the first few games, they basically don't see the UI, they only see the game. So, and then over time, it seems like players start to notice things on the UI, and you can call them stupid players, but that would be ridiculous because everyone is like this, so they're not stupid, it's just humans, and you do it too. So anything extra on the UI is just painful, so we just don't want to add it if we don't need it, and I also think it's going to be stressful, and also I think over time you know exactly how long things take. So I don't know where this timer comes from on Hearthstone. I've never seen that. That sounds like a mod to me. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. So we're basically, if it's not really important, we just skip it for now. If we don't really agree that it should go in. Terrain verticality, that's another one. We did try this. We tried this. It's actually one of the first things we ever tried. And it never really worked that well. It basically causes a lot of problems with units blocking other units. When once the terrain goes higher, any unit on top of that blocks units behind it. So then you have to like rotate the camera. And we actually only recently put in the really half-hearted camera rotate, because we don't want players to have to mess with the camera. Like, you should be playing the game. You shouldn't be messing with the interface so you can see your units. So this would just make that worse. I'm not saying we can't do it later, because we actually could revisit it if we wanted to, but it doesn't feel very important to me. It does. The thing I do like about it is, visually it would be really cool, especially if we put maybe like we only put high terrain on the edges of the map, especially like the north edge of the map, so it wouldn't block anything. That could be one way to do it. And if we ever did like a little silhouette around units, but when they go behind things, maybe that would work too, although selecting them would still be difficult. This is just a can of worms. Like, we basically just shouldn't add this unless we really think we're going to get a lot of mileage out of it. And we certainly shouldn't add it right now, because we have a lot of basic stuff to do. Good game of moat. I think this is awesome, and we love this nice paint job idea. Thank you, Zoc ELA. We have to do this. It would be so awesome. We also talked about putting in text bubbles. So when you say something, you're on the HUD, it actually puts a little text bubble, because otherwise you can't really tell when a player is making an emote and when the captain is just barking. So what did John say? Love the suggestions. We have emotes voiced. It wouldn't be cost effective to book for just a couple lines. Yeah, so maybe we have to do this all at once later. I'm not sure, but I think we should definitely do that. Progression is a little bit slow. Yeah, we're actively changing this right now. So tuning, or basically there's a lot of details here. It's really complicated, but you don't want players to be able to abuse the system, especially in friendly games and in skirmish. So we are actively working on this. The next version you play, actually not this weekend, but EA launch will be more generous than what's in there now. So we'll be giving you experience in skirmish games, in skirmish, though it'll be much reduced, and you will get it in cargo run as well. So this will be an ongoing, I'm going to put this in progress. This will be an ongoing task. So we hear you. We basically agree, but we just can't quite tune that quite yet. Training videos, subtitles. Yeah, I guess John jumped in on that. John is our producer on the project. So I didn't even know he said that, but that's cool. We need to have subtitles. We want to support lots of languages. Okay, let me just follow up with the chat here. I feel like I've been negligent. I can't find the dang chat window. Is it a pop-up? Where is this thing? There it is. What is this? I don't even know where this thing's, what it's parented to. I'm gonna put that over here so you guys have something to look at. I'm gonna get better at streaming, I promise. Okay, clear indicator that it's my turn. Yeah, we've been struggling with this for a very long time. I'm just gonna put this in progress. Well, it's planned. We do know we're going to do more. We've added so much. I actually did put in some screenshots here yesterday. Let's see. So I think Hearthstone does it like this. They just have this enemy turn here. And then it goes end turn when it's your turn and enemy turn for the enemy. I'm surprised that's enough for them. Very, very surprised. We actually don't even have that, although we did in the past. So we're going to put that back in. I actually like much better what Legends of Runeterra do. So they just have this glowing blue thing down here. And then for the enemy turn, they do the red thing up there. I think that's just way better. You can just glance immediately and know whose turn it is. I think we should just do that. We already kind of have it, but we just need to do a little work on that. So you're welcome, Amar. Gain XP if the other player quits. This is in progress. Yep, we just had a meeting about this morning. This is happening. It was just a bug, but it's happening. Let's see. I'm gonna jump into chat here. Anything here I need to pay attention to? Got a whole bunch of people in here now. Oh, that's cool. Anyone else I recognize? Hey, Avi. Hey, Rocket Cat. Sick Nick still here. Hedron Crab, I remember you from yesterday. Cool. Yeah, I'll get Chaos Theory. I'll get to that, your suggestion here. I'll have something to say about that, about zooming all the way out. HUD outline with the glow. Terrain hazards. All right. Visual cinder curve for your roster. That should say roster, not crew. Although I understand. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna change that for you. Yeah, we had this, and again, when we redid our UI, I think it got, we weren't sure we needed to keep it. So anything you can cut, as you're building something saves you effort. So I think it just kind of slipped away, and we probably do need this again. So I should update this to say researching. I basically agree with you. So, and it's not much work. I just don't know where it would fit in exactly, but that'll probably be a longer term thing. The cool thing about all this, I don't know if you guys saw this, but you can just go to roadmap up here, and this shows you everything that's in progress, everything that's planned, everything that's rejected, researching, and then stuff we actually just completed. So you kind of can really get a quick view of what's happening. So let's see. And your votes here actually matter, because like I said, I just go right from the top and go straight down. A lot of us on the dev team are looking at this. It's not just me, but I actively look at this every day or every other day. So anything you put up here is great, and your votes really do matter a lot. Autosave when painting, this was a bug. We fixed this. I mean, this has been in for a long time. I don't know how this slipped through. Very sorry about that. I think maybe it's just it could be I don't know what the bug is, but I know there's a problem with ultra graphic settings with undo causing crashes. So that's one problem, but then, you know, it's supposed to be auto-saving all the time. And the reason why we don't have a save button is because we want the painting to be super blissful. So I don't think it's very blissful if you have to constantly hit Control S to avoid saving your work. So it's just auto-saving all the time. If the game crashes, just go back to your unit that you were painting and it'll automatically load in. If this is working, which it may not be right now, we're looking into it, it'll automatically load up your paint job that you hadn't saved. And then you can either just keep painting or you just hit back and it'll ask you if you want to save it or discard it. So I'm actually very proud of that UI, but apparently, or I should say UX, but it's actually not working. So we're on it. So in progress. Percent crits shouldn't be in this game. Yeah, some people they don't like crits. You know, this one is not really up for debate. So I do think that we did just remove crits on assists and abilities, so this will be toned down a whole lot. So I'm hoping this will make this poster very happy, and the other people who voted. A lot of people asked for that, but yeah, we want to make a game that has a bunch of randomness, and that it's not chess. It's not a game where just because you're better than someone you're going to win. It's just, we don't want to make that game. It's just not very welcoming to new players. And it's not very exciting to watch, and it doesn't make you feel very good when you play either, because if you lose, you always know it's your fault. So that one's rejected, but we are definitely working on the amount of crits, because I think we did over-index on that. There's too many in there. Custom bases 2 miniatures. Yeah, this one, we're keeping this one as a arrow in our quiver, as I like to say. This is something I'm sure we're going to get to at some point. It's going to be a huge opportunity for us for cosmetics, so I'm sure we're going to do this. But I actually just left this, you know, kind of unassigned. We haven't started working on it yet. It'll probably be months before we do that. Add a game rules section that describes all game rules. Yeah, we could. I think that'd be pretty cool. It will be on Wikia. I think we already have a Wikia Moonbreaker. Wikia. I think it's already here. Is it here? Fandom Moonbreaker Wiki. Let's see here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put, it's a little passive aggressive. I'll be nice about it, but I'll say, cool idea. For now, I guess the Wikia page will have to suffice. Okay, what else? Let's see if I can check out some of your chat, what you guys are all saying in here. Yeah, saving every 2 seconds like Scrivener. That's basically what we're doing. I forgot what the exact delay is, but it's fast enough that you shouldn't notice any chugging. Let's see. It gives you anxiety that you can't hit the save button. Well, you'll get used to it. It needs to be flawless, and it has been flawless up until very recently, so I don't know how that broke. Reapply for next playtest. I'm not sure. Yeah, Danya says you don't have to reapply for the next playtest. But I'm hoping that this one's going to be even bigger than the last one. But we had so much buzz around Gamescom, and then we didn't get that many people playing. I'll go through some of the stats in a second here, and you'll see some of the numbers. But we were kind of expecting to get more players, so I know it's hard to get people to that Steam playtest page. So I think that's part of it. It's also kind of unclear who gets invites and who doesn't. I think anyone that presses the button gets one, but I think people aren't sure when they see it. So let's see. I wouldn't say the fandom wiki is official, Rocket Cat. I don't think anything about a wiki is ever official because it's a wiki, but our players can keep up with this stuff better than we can. And the amount of times that we checked the Subnautica wiki to find out how the game worked is like uncountable. So we do, it's usually pretty darn accurate. No, we're not going to embed the wiki in in our game. It's too spammy. Okay, next, I'll keep moving here. Is this interesting? Should I wrap this up and move on to something else? I've been doing this for half an hour already. I'll do a couple more. 2v2, we want this. Everyone at Gamescom was asking for this. This is my personal pet favorite feature, which is why I voted on it. Oh, why I'm voting on it now. I think this would be so awesome. I wouldn't call it Battle Royale, but 2v2 game modes. Huh. That's kind of like a big suggestion. 2v2 / Battle Royale. I don't know what that means, but 2v2 is awesome. I think why that's going to be so cool is I don't think we have to change the timing of the game. It'll still be super fast paced. We just have 2 players taking turns at the same time, two people on the same team. And because of how we do our movement visualization and ability, action visualization, that will be a lot of like implicit communication. So players can, it's almost like those, when people watch football, which I'm not one of those people, but I've heard when people watch football, they've got the chalkboard and, like on TV, they have all the, the overlays where you're like showing XXOs and arrows. You can kind of do that automatically with the UI. So you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna move my captain here, and then you can move your guy here, and you can see all the movement preview, and you can see the ability ranges. So players should be able to communicate very quickly, and it should be super friggin' intense. The only thing I'm a little worried about is making the maps a little bigger to accommodate 4 spawn points, but I think it would be awesome. Well, and also the performance cost of having double the units. That could kill us, but we really want to try it. Battle Royale is 3 or more players, no teams. I don't think that's true. There's free-for-all. Free-for-all is very different than Battle Royale, I would say. Warhammer Underworlds has a free-for-all mode for 3 or 4 players. Not very fun. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more of this. I'm going to do some balanced stuff. Custom maps. This is a huge one. This is huge. We really want... oops. I can type. We really want it to. But it's a ton of work, so I'm not doing it anytime in the next few months. But the cool thing about the custom maps, we would basically have to redo all of our maps. So we would basically have to, I would lobby for redoing them, and then we'd have to repaint every single prop with the painting tool. That would be the way to do this, in my opinion. And then all that stuff, all those props become they become paintable and placeable, and then we'd have to reassemble our maps from scratch. We could do it. It's just a lot of work, and this game would explode, but in a good way, like explode with popularity, not explode from a detonation. But we need to make sure that the foundation of this game is solid before we do stuff like this. So we've got some core issues to deal with way before that. Show the turn timer for the entire turn. That's a dupe. Someone didn't notice that. Right click. This is something we are actively looking at. It's funny. I've said it before a couple times, but I'll say it again in case you guys haven't heard it. We actually completely redid the UI like starting 3 weeks ago. The UI was completely solid for literally years. And then 3 weeks ago, we had a Charlie Hurricane, as they call them, when I realized that people were really struggling with the UI. And they weren't really saying that they were struggling with the UI, but it was, people kept, I don't know, the feedback was just really unclear, but basically the left click and right click was just was reversed compared to StarCraft, Dota 2, League of Legends, XCOM. It was all left click to pan, so you grab the train and pan, and then left click to select and left click to give an order, and it was all this implicit dragging stuff, which is how right click works right now. So we knew that this would be something that we did not want to change during early access. We would have people with their pitchforks out at us, and I don't blame them. It would just be so painful to change later. So we took the difficult decision to change it in a rush right before we launched this last weekend. And we did it at a really inopportune time. We were on a retreat, and we were announcing the game, but we just did it anyways. And even the team had pitchforks because it was so hard to play. Once if you played the game the old way and then suddenly play the new way, you just can't do anything. It takes like 2 hours of play before you can even use the game again. It's so weird how ingrained this stuff gets. So anyways, what you're playing now is completely new, and I think this is one of those last details that we've got fixes for this planned. I'm just gonna say this is it's not quite the exact suggestion is not what we're working on, but we're fixing this is basically the answer. And if we can't fix it, then I guess we'll have to put it in an option. But I do not like putting options in games, so it's just my jam. And I don't like options because you have to choose which one is the default anyways. So you can't, usually it's a cop-out to put an option to say, oh, just put an option in. Well, you still have to figure out which one is the default. So, and then people have to discover that it's an option, and if it's painful in the default way, then you have most of your users don't get the benefit of the option, and it's just better to make the game great for everyone. So an option is reserved for only the things that truly need to be options. Longer term timers, yeah. If you play single player, I should just mention that here. Should I say that? Playing single player is a great way to learn the game. Is best for when you first start. Basically, everyone struggles with the timer. During their first few games. I'd probably write more if I wasn't on stream right now, but we're not going to do that, so that's rejected. We might need to adjust it a little bit, but it's pretty darn close. Tactical view, someone here in chat just mentioned that. That's a common suggestion. So my issue with tactical view is basically the idea that you could like zoom out farther, or that you could like get rid of the visuals even and just see dots or something. But every variant of this makes the game look worse and less miniature. And I've noticed from experience, I will tell you, if you put an option in like this, almost everyone will use it. And all the work that we've done on the miniatures and the painting, all that goes away. So, because players will never see it. And even right now, we have zoom in, and basically, I mean, it's pretty rare to see people zoom in. I feel like most people are playing at the default zoomed out all the time. So we do not want to do this. People are always going to ask for it. I understand. We're just not going to do it. So if you can't play the game in the current zoom level, or if it's frustrating to play, then we have a real problem. But if you just want it to go farther, sorry. I hate to tell that to people, but it basically ruins the visuals of the game. And it also hurts the game from a business perspective, because everyone that streams the game will do that too, and now the game looks ugly, and then people watch the stream and they don't want to play the game because it looks ugly. Then the whole thing, it's a feedback loop, and the game just doesn't do well. So this is a huge problem. Downvote. Anything I need to pay attention to in the chat? Yeah, Discord is pretty awesome. It is pretty good. This is my first Discord that I've really hung out in. It's kind of a time waster, but it is pretty cool, I have to say. Season pass speed, we already talked about that. That's a duplicate. I wonder if I can mark that as a dupe. Color hex tools, that's a neat idea. Probably not yet. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up. This is enough of that. So now on to something a little more exciting. Stats. Bush. You ready for this? Okay, we got our first stats in. We have a pretty elaborate back-end stats system. It's kind of we're just standing it up right now, but it's a little hard for me to get the data in real time, but we're working on it. And I got the stats for the playtest weekend, and we have, out of 16,602 games, my pet peeve, commas, we have a 54.8% win rate for player 1 and 45.2 for player 2. That is way worse than I was expecting. This has been an ongoing issue, because when you're making a head-to-head game, player versus player, a turn-based game where one player goes first, you always have to come up with something unless you're chess, and you just ignore the problem. Actually, do they have? Yeah, they ignore the problem. I don't think there's any don't think there's even a single difference for player 1 versus player 2. Maybe implicitly en passant or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, this is always a problem. We knew it was going to be off. I've tried a bunch of different things. So let's see. A long time ago, yeah, I don't know. It's not that long ago. 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when we had only 248 games logged. So this data is much more suspect. We had the first player start with 3 units and the second player start with 4. That was the balance. And the second player had a 52.8% win rate. Now, it's only 240 games, but I'm keeping all this stuff in this document just so I can remember. One of the problems with running with like designing and balancing a game like this is sometimes you don't remember the reason why you made decisions or when you made decisions. So I've learned that over time that I need to log this stuff or else I forget. So so after this, I had changed it to, wait a second, I think, actually this is what we still have. Wait a second, hold on. Now I'm trying to remember how I've changed this so many times. Probably didn't put it in this document every time. We still do have that. Oh, but we also had some bonus cinder. We also had, I think it was +1. Was it +1 bonus cinder? I really am not looking like a professional right now. I really should have known this. Oh no, here it is. Here we go. This is what I had. First player. So we had, okay, we had 4 units for both players, but the second player got additional command. That's what it was. And then, so that was really worse. So 4 units, having an extra unit is like very significant. So you can see that was 58% chance win for player 1. So then after that, yeah, that's right. Then we got rid of the 4th unit for player 1. And I didn't write here, but we got rid of, I think we got rid of the extra cinder. I said command because it used to be called command. There's so many other factors here. All the assists changed from an old system where you draw them into your bridge. So sometimes you can't isolate the real reasons why things are happening. But so then, yeah, we had 3 units. Oh man. So this one, I don't know what to change next. I thought I knew what to change next, but I mean, probably possibilities, I would say, are give second player extra starting charges on their assists. So yeah, that would be one way to do it. Give second player some extra starting cinder. And those are kind of the ones I would probably try next. Because this one is, I mean, we could let this slide, but that's way too big. That's too big, I think. Let's see if you guys in chat have any suggestions. This is your chance. You can affect the game. First move advantage problem. Yeah, I can't remember. Player 2 had +1 cinder. I'm trying to remember if they have it now, or did we actually remove that recently? I think we removed it because it was just so clunky and so weird. It really confused the whole. I don't think people could understand the model when there was that random extra cinder in there. It no longer made sense that you got 1 cinder on turn 1, 2 on turn 2, 3 on turn 3. So I didn't want that in there anymore. I mean, Hearthstone actually does it too with the with like the, what do they call it? The ring, or what is it called? The coin. You could give second player a coin, which for us would be a single-use temporary assist to give use of cinder. That one could work. That one's probably pretty elegant because it becomes explicit as opposed to kind of polluting the model. I mean, this one isn't super important to address right now, but I do want to keep my eye on this, and it's going to take some time to make sure we get this just right. Any other ideas in here? It's kind of a neat idea to get like a plink in there. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, unstun player 2's first unit for free. I don't know how we'd explain that. It's a cool idea, but I just feel like players aren't going to understand it unless you. I mean, it could be an assist. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I didn't understand why I had 3 or 4 units till after playtest weekend's over. It's very weird. It could also be, oh, actually, instead of starting with that, it could be a free. An explicit one-time assist is pretty elegant, and I think it would just be, if it was just say for 3 mana, 3 cinder, that's probably as clean as we can get. Hazard Shuffle is like a whole can of worms. I mean, I know it's an idea from, it's like typical in miniatures, tabletop miniatures games, but I mean, it is interesting. I'm trying to think how that would work. I mean, that's a neat idea. It's like a one-use, be like a one-use, like create smoke hazard. So you could do it whenever you wanted. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's a neat idea. I don't think it would actually, it's not really likely to solve the problem. It seems to me like the problem is really the assists. I mean, it's the assist plus the combat. But, I mean, if it's a Cinder reward, then it allows us to tune it a bit. You know, so like, I think 1 Cinder was not enough. 3 might be right on point. Although it's probably closer to 2, because 3 with the free reinforcement, with the, you know, starting with 1 extra unit over the other person, that was actually, it swung it around in the other direction. So that implies that that cost of 3 is too much. So maybe 2, a 2 Cinder would put it be pretty darn close. It's not guaranteed to be on the money. Although, that's interesting. If it's 54, if it's almost 55% for player 1 with a, in the current model, wait a sec, now I'm confused again. So let's see. The current model has 4, it's 4 units to start for player 2. So this, in the current model, it's just the assists are the ones that are really swinging it. Wait a second. So let's see what. So previously we had 4 units. Second player got 1 Cinder, and this was. That was okay. So that was significant. So that 1 Cinder did not. I mean, these numbers are not super helpful because a lot of other changes were happening during this really long period of time. But this would imply that, I mean, this would imply that going first is like an 8%, maybe even 10% plus. And you could say that that 1 Cinder is just a little bit of that. So maybe it's, 1 extra unit is 10 Cinder. I mean, 10% chance to win bonus. Then here, this one was 3 and 4. So I wish I could remember if we had extra Cinder here. I think we actually did have it up to, see, January, February, March, April. I think we actually, I don't know. I don't think that was in there. So then that was 2 extra Cinder for player 2. So that was one extra unit, which looks like it's maybe an 8. This stuff is so impossible to think about. This is just like crazy. We just have to like move 1 step in the right direction from here. And I think a temporary assist is the right way to do it. Because then we can tune the assist. It's either that or coming up with a charge mechanism. I mean, we could try, actually the simplest thing we could try would be not charging your opponent's assists. The first player does not get an assist charge the first time. And then that would put player 2 ahead, but player 1 is still ahead on unit attacks. That actually might get lucky and have those be the same. They might balance each other out. It's pretty weird to have your assist not charge on the first turn. I don't really know how we communicate that. And the other thing we could do, it's way too disruptive, is we could just, I'm just brainstorming, but we could increase the cooldown on player 1's assists by 1. It's really rough, and it changes completely how you play. Like Plink is just not Plink anymore. So that's probably a terrible, terrible idea. Yeah, the balancing isn't that bad. The hard part is doing it in a way that like preserves the feel of the game and is clear and just doesn't add more complexity. That's really the hard part. Okay, I think let's see, Danya says, player 2's coin could give 1 charge to the assist of their choice. That's a very, very good idea. Very good idea. think it would have to do... That's a very, very good idea. Temporary. So it's a one-shot assist that gives... I think we'd want it to be... I'd hate to have to target an assist. It's a one-shot assist that gives... If you give it to both assists, you'd have to give it to both, I think. One-shot assist that gives +1 charge to either one or both of your assists. That's probably the best one I've heard yet. It's the closest to... I think it would have to overcompensate to make up for the fact that player 1 gets to attack first. So I think it would actually have to give it to both. It's neat too because it adds a little extra spice, little sizzle. Like, oh, am I gonna orbital strike this turn? It kind of like a little tiny bit of a surprise. It's kind of neat too. It throws off the cadence of the timing. Because, you know, normally it'd be like every 4 turns from, you know, basically if you did like, you know, orbital bombardment, it would be on turn 4 and turn 8 and turn 12. But here it could be turn 3, turn 7. You know, it kind of like throws it off, which is kind of interesting. I think that one's that's the closest one I can think of that would, either that one or a one-shot assist to give +3 Cinder. I think these two are like the ones that are most likely to fix the problem in a good way. Okay, because I don't want to spend too much time here, I do also want to jump ahead and talk about win-loss by captain matchup. I know everyone's saying, oh, Astra's so OP. I mean, she is kind of OP until you look at this. So Astra versus Extilior, she's actually losing versus Extilior. Boom. Boom. Seismic explosion. She's losing versus Extilior. So out of 4,477 games, she's got a 96.7% chance of winning. Take that, all you Extilior haters. I'm not saying there's no problems, because there's still problems, but that stats don't lie. At least I don't think they do. This is a new system. They could be lying. These actually could be lying. I don't think they are, but they could be. Astra versus Zax, 103% of the time she wins. What's interesting is there's so many fewer games of that. There's like, you know, there's a solid 33% extra games with Astra versus Extilior. And then Extilior versus Zax, 98.8. So these numbers they're pretty close. I mean, I'm pretty happy with, I don't know, like I feel like this is good to get here by this time in the early access process. Like we're not even at early access and these numbers are pretty darn close. But you know, that doesn't mean these shouldn't be better. I think they should be better. I think getting them to within 1 to 2 percentage points would be fine. 3 and 4 is probably not good enough, but these are pretty close. I think the difference is, yeah, I don't really know what the difference is here. I feel like, let me think about this. So Astra's losing versus Extilior. Extilior is losing to Zax. And Zax is winning to Astra. No, Zax is losing to Astra. I don't think that is rock, paper, scissors. Is that right? Wait, Astra, are we missing? Oh, we don't have the mirror matches. Darn it. That shouldn't matter. Duh. I don't think it should. Well, there's no way we could tell, but it might affect the player 1, player 2 stats in really weird ways. Yeah, I mean, is that right, Marpord? Extilior is beating Astra. Yes. Astra is beating Zax. Yes. Zax is beating Extilior. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm going to copy paste. Thank you. Yeah. So, I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad. It is what it is. I mean, I think It's so interesting that the perception is that Astra is so damn powerful. I mean, I know she does seem to be a fan favorite, but I mean, these spreads, let's see, they're pretty close. I'm trying to think. I mean, that Astra versus Axe is the biggest. Wait, it's 103. It's actually almost exactly the same as Astra versus Extilior. So I should actually add up. Do the diffs add up properly? Can someone else do that? I think that it doesn't mean. Anyways, there's still problems here. I think Astra's abilities are a little. Well, I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep an eye on it. But I wanted to just do a quick check on it, just because we finally got enough data. This starts to become a little more known. Now, it was only 3 or 4 days of data, so it doesn't actually mean, as players change and they learn the comps and they learn the meta and they learn how to play, and all those Extilior players who played all those quick start games, the tutorial games, that, this is going to be biased towards Extilior is going to have like wimpier players, lower caliber players, I'm pretty sure. But over time, that's going to go away. So I think we just got to keep an eye on it. But I just wanted to at least share this with you guys so you can see it. Yeah, no one is shocked, Danya. Like, 0 people are shocked that Astra is your favorite. It's weird though, because anecdotally you see some games with Cinder Infusion and she just seems unstoppable. But maybe it's just maybe she just tends to steamroll in the games that she wins. She steamrolls, or maybe it's just purely psychological. I don't know. To get more data, you can open the game up today, do it for the data. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't think we're going to open the data completely. I don't think, basically it just causes a lot of problems for us, because then players are going to find problems and then they start posting, and then, I'm not saying any of you will do this. I mean, no one in this room would do this, but some player will do this, and then we're suddenly getting roasted because we can't fix problems fast enough. So, yeah, I'm not sure there's anything in it for us to open source all that stuff. Plus, it's super complicated. The back end is really, it's actually not even, to handle this kind of data, we have to use like Tableau and all this stuff. So it's actually, I don't really think that we could easily open this up. But I want to at least share it when I can. Cool, well that's an hour, and I need to get back to work. I mean, some of this was work, but some wasn't. So I think, this was helpful right here. Thank you very much for that. Didn't even play the game today, but alas, we're shipping early access. There's no time to play. And we'll be playing all weekend. And I hope you guys are going to be playing with us, because it's going to be awesome. Tell your friends. We need to get, let's get double the number of players in this weekend. That would be so awesome. Oh, I didn't actually mention that. I think we had it was 15,000 players. So if we could hit 30,000 players this weekend, that would be incredible. I wish we had some kind of thing we could do to incentivize everyone to do that. Everyone gets some new paint job or something if we hit some number. That'd be really fun. But we've got too much core work to do right now. Okay, well I think I'm gonna let you go now and end it there. But thanks for checking in and joining me on the stream. If you want to hear more of these, tell me. I probably will keep doing them. They're pretty fun and certainly somewhat useful. So thanks everyone. You're welcome. Go bake your bread, or whatever that meme is. I bake a lot of bread in real life, mostly in the form of pizza and pasta, but that's still bread. Trust me on that one. All right. I'm going to let you go. Have a good one. We'll see you this weekend, and I'll probably even see you before then. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow or the next day. So see you later. Thanks. Bye.